Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Coming up later in the program, we've got a guest, Joe Hagan, and he's with the group called Soup for Troops. Gallant Brands, I think. Do you remember there was an episode, No Soup for You?
Yeah, Soup Nazi.
Yeah, well, they don't like that word, so they go by the famous Soup Man, as well, which I don't blame him one bit. But anyway, during the program today, we're going to visit with Joe about Soup for Troops, and I'm super excited for this program that they're doing.
Excited.
I am super excited about this. I think it's a really cool thing. So
it is very cool.
They're providing jobs for troops. They're providing funding. There's just a lot of cool things they're doing, and I think it's just something we need to shine the spotlight on. I've got a quote for today, and I don't even know who said it. It's said by Unknown. It says, life has two rules. Number one, never quit. Number two, always remember rule number one.
There you go.
Unknown. I think we should just put Heidi Small behind that. What do you think?
I'll take credit.
You'll take credit for that one? I always think it's amazing. There's so many quotes from Anonymous. I mean, Anonymous has a lot of quotes.
It does sound like a Heidi quote.
It does.
Sounds just like my pool rules.
Yeah, we won't go into that here, but it does. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is June the 20th. First of all, she was going to try to wrap a present. Got paper rustling. She's making all kinds of noise. Can you wait? What's that all about? Who's that for? What are you doing over
my
there?
dad.
Oh, okay. We're trying to do a radio program. She's multitasking with the loudest thing you can possibly do. All right, today is a special day. It's the 20th day of June. It's a Wednesday. We've got a lot of different things to celebrate today. One of them I had to look up. We'll do that one at the very end. But we'll start with National Hike with a Geek Day. What the world is that? Why is there a day for that? That doesn't make sense. American Eagle Day, National Ice Cream Soda Day, National Vanilla Milkshake Day, and the last one is National, I don't know how to say it. It's COUIGN, Coin Amon Day. Coin Amon. I had to look it up because I'm like, what is that? It is observed on the 20th of June. It's a round, crusty cake made with yeast-raised dough containing layers of butter and sugar folded in, similar to a puff pastry or a croissant. Look at that. It looks delicious.
Huh.
I should celebrate.
I think maybe what I didn't like is the term crusty.
Yeah, crusty usually is not a thing that you
It doesn't sound
cited
appetizing
to.
usually.
Can't wait to have some crusty soup or whatever. Crusty anything, not good. But this, it is. Going to celebrate all of that somehow on this Wednesday, the 20th day of June.
John and Heidi.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-818-3967. 800-818-3967. That's 800-818-3967. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
John and Heidi.
Coming up, we've got your brain on drugs, but first, 5 people have been arrested after police raided a home in Central Florida's retirement community, The Villages, and uncovered drugs. Last place in the world you'd expect something like this. Drugs were, quote, in plain sight in the home, and investigators also uncovered golf cart parts, including windshields, seats, wheels, and tires. The signs the home may have been used as a golf cart chop shop. This honestly should have been part of our fake news of Florida. If I told you that there was a drug bust at The Villages,
oh my gosh, that's
would you have believed that?
I probably would have believed that.
I don't think you would have. We do a thing towards the end of the program where we do this thing called Fake News or Florida, and it's funny because so many of the things that I make up, Heidi believes because, you know, it sounds realistic. And then the stuff that's
this
real.
This here is what happens when gangbangers retire.
Apparently. I don't know. It doesn't say. I don't know what
Fantastic.
you know.
Got to do something to
Went
keep
from a
yourself, your
chop
mind
shop.
young and active. And
Went from a chop shop to a golf cart chop shop.
that's hilarious.
I wonder what kind of drugs they had. It doesn't say on here. I don't
Probably
know. Prescription?
painkillers.
Yeah, I don't know. I need another one of those oxy.
I'm sure
whatever
it
they are.
wasn't, the kind of drugs that.
Street drugs.
Right. I'm sure it
Yeah.
wasn't. I'm sure it was the kind of drugs
I
that
don't
old
know.
people would want.
I don't know. It just that for whatever reason struck me as funny.
Oh, my goodness.
Not to make light of anything that just happened there.
That
but
is absolutely beautiful.
It just really seemed kind of, like I said, tickled my funny bone for some reason. We've got your brain on drugs coming right up.
John and Heidi.
This time of year, there are many parties, weddings, cookouts, and other events that often include alcohol. If you're drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. The Addiction Hope and Helpline wants to help. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, there's a toll-free number you can call, 1-800-438-0380. That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline, 1-800-438-0380, 1-800-438-0380.
John and Heidi.
And this is your brain on drugs. Second story from Florida, by the way. St. Petersburg, Florida police arrested a man who they said broke into a couple's home, stole bottles of alcohol, defecated throughout the home, and then fell asleep on the sofa. Police arrested 53-year-old
Oh my gosh.
Breton Holden for burglary. 53. The homeowners said the man was found half-dressed. He reportedly left behind an empty wine bottle and champagne bottle and beer bottle trail. Police said the suspect defecated throughout the home, then fell asleep on the sofa. The homeowner was interviewed, said, "I mean, it was awful. The place was filthy dirty." Holden remains in jail on a $20,000 bond.
Yeah, good.
That's kind of yucky.
Just keep him.
I don't understand what the plan was there. I mean, does it make any sense at all? Did he steal something other than just the booze? I don't know. I don't get it. So anyway, bizarre story. And
Maybe it was a personal thing. Maybe he
Could
just
be.
had something against
And I was
them.
like, oh, your dog keeps going on my
The
lawn.
fact
We'll
that
get
he
back at
went
you.
all over the house says
Kinda
this
makes you
was
wonder.
more of a personal.
I don't know. It doesn't explain that, but that could be. This has been your brain on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, John Travolta's new movie where he plays real-life gangster John Gotti is getting horrible reviews.
I heard that. I've heard
Not-
that from several people.
Not only the critics. Now, the critics always, thumbs down on everything. They don't really like things. And the things that they do like, I typically don't like.
Right.
So usually, if the critics hate it, I'd go, I'll go check it out. I want to see that. This one, everybody hates it.
I've honestly never been a Travolta
I
fan.
have. I
I just don't get it.
I
think
really
he's
like him. I do.
Way overrated.
One of my favorite movies was Phenomenon. I love that movie.
I know you do.
I don't know why. I just do. Critics are calling the new film the worst mob movie of all time. And that is not a group of people you want to upset, Mr. Travolta. Just saying. Catherine Zeta-Jones told the UK Mirror that she's, quote, sick of apologizing for being rich and gorgeous, end quote.
Good for you.
Let's
Way
just-
to stay humble.
Let's just let that settle in for
Yeah.
a bit there. I don't really know what to say about that. Can you imagine being quoted
Who's
as
making
the
her
same
apologize
I
for
don't
being
know.
gorgeous and rich?
I don't know. But
Maybe
Catherine
she should
Zeta-Jones,
just quit doing that then.
I think she's a very attractive lady, Catherine. What are you talking about? So, but I don't understand where she's apologizing for that.
She's not the most gorgeous woman in Hollywood by any means.
Well, I can tell you this. I am sick and tired of apologizing for being so handsome and, I can't say I'm rich. I can't really say I'm handsome either. I'm apologizing
You're
for...
handsome. You're very handsome.
No, I'm not.
I wouldn't have married a dog.
I'm not Catherine Zeta-Jones good looking, I can tell you that. So I haven't had to apologize for being good looking even once. All right. Thanks for listening to Big Screen, Little Screen on this Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
John and Heidi.
Now your scoop of the day brought to you by 80sinthesand.com. This story, Heidi, Almost made it into big screen, little screen. I've had it here for like a week, and every time I get to it, I keep thinking, this doesn't really have anything to do with the big screen. It has more to do with Doritos. But here's the story. Doritos made a giant, massive batch of Doritos, 18 times larger than the average Doritos. The company said an awesome way to experience Dorito snacks because of Jurassic Dorito, is what they call it, in honor of the new Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom movie. See? Comes in a giant dino egg. Says each side is about 11 inches. Just 100 were made, and each come with a certificate of authenticity.
Oh, yay.
Would you want a giant Dorito?
No.
That would be really hard
But
to eat.
I am glad to hear they're coming in a giant egg, because I was going to say, otherwise they're just going to be the size of regular
All
Doritos
busted
by the
up when
time you get them
Yeah,
home.
that's true. It's like, I thought these were supposed to be bigger.
They're just regular Doritos.
They're crushed into dust just like the regular ones. Some big news from the journalism world. The Boston Globe has suspended star columnist Kevin Collins. This happened about, 3 days ago, something like that. He's suspended for 3 months without pay for embellishing stories. So I wonder if he'll get
Which
a job
network?
at, what's that?
Which network was it?
It wasn't a network. It was a journalism. It's a Boston Globe.
Oh.
Yeah. I know what network you were thinking of, though.
Yeah, I was.
A new
I was
survey.
like, seriously? They're going to crack down on it now?
Here's the thing. I have to admit, it really disappoints me when I see my brothers and sisters in the media. And I say, even though we're not journalists, we don't pretend to be. This is the only newscast we do on our show, the Scoop of the Day, and it's not supposed to be like hard news. It's kind of silly news. But it seems like so many news sources have an agenda, whether it's coming from this direction or that direction. Just be neutral. And I've done it before. I was a news person for about a year.
Factual. That's all that you need to do.
But I had a position for about a year. Remember, I was a freelance reporter, and it was so disappointing to me because I would get these requests for stories where they requested a story from a specific point of view, trying to make their case. And that's why I finally said, I'm not going to do this. I mean, I'm not, because I just think we should report the news. We shouldn't steer the news. And it just really bothered me. So I'm really glad to hear that at least there's some sort of repercussion for him embellishing the stories. But 3 months without pay, shouldn't he have been let go?
I would have.
Wouldn't you think? I don't know.
So, yeah.
Again, let's just move on. I don't even know what he was embellishing. I don't know. Have no clue. Don't care. A new survey found that 14% of Americans have had nookie at work. 14%. What are you doing? Sleeping on the job? Well, no, that's not quite what you're doing. I don't understand where they're doing this or why they're doing this or how they're doing this, but there you go. A study by the University of York found that violent video games have no effect on making the people who play them more violent. So they're saying they did a study, and it's the person, not the game. I have to agree with that, because the person, each person is individual, and some people can handle things that other people can't. So I think the game probably has something to do with it, but they're saying, no, it's not the game, it's the person. So I absolutely see where they're coming from. A Texas mother came home and found her ninth grade son in bed with a school counselor. What is going on?
Ninth grade?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I just don't understand what's going on. And here's something that's interesting. I actually know some people that are involved in this, I believe. Organizers of the San Diego Comic-Con have canceled Chris Hardwick's upcoming appearance after reports that he was abusive to his ex-girlfriend. I've got a link to that story. I know somebody that's involved in the San Diego Comic-Con.
I don't know who he is.
Who's that? Chris Hardwick?
Yeah.
He's the guy that was just recently removed from the San Diego Comic-Con
thank
appearance.
you. Yeah.
Does that help at all?
It does.
I have a
yes.
link to the story if you want to read it. I feel like I have brought nothing to the table. This has been today's Scoop of the Day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Do you have ideas for t-shirt designs, but you don't have a clue how to print them? Or maybe you'd like to have t-shirts and coffee mugs available to buy online with your business logo printed on them. There's a website that makes it easy. We set ours up in about 10 minutes. There's no sign-up fee, no minimum orders, no monthly fees. It's just a really easy way to put some cool items online for sale, and you get paid every time somebody buys them. You don't have to print or ship anything. Just sign up, upload your designs, and then let people know where they can get your cool stuff. More details available at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We have an awesome guest today that's doing something really, really cool. We're going to be visiting with Joe Hagan, and he's with a company called the Original Soup Man, and they're saluting our veterans with soup for the Troops. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, John. Very nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're excited to have you on the program. Now, how long, first of all, has the original Soup Man been around? This is something that's been going on quite a while, isn't it?
Indeed. The original Soup Man started back in the 70s and 80s, but it was made famous in the 90s. If you recall, the TV show Seinfeld did a show where the Soup Man famously yelled, "No soup for you."
Yeah.
The brand has gotten incredible notoriety, and our company, Gallant Brands, is the parent company of Original Soup Man.
Now, Soup for the Troops, how long has this event been happening?
Soup for Troops basically just came about. So we are new management at Original Soup Man. We've all involved with Original Soup Man have been long-time investors, so we've been around the brand a very long time. So when we started Gallant Brands as the parent company, we named it Gallant specifically because it means courageous and noble-minded, and there's no better way than to describe our troops than, gallant. And so we just started Soup for Troops literally within the last, couple of months. It's been on our mind for a while from when we started the company. We took the company over last fall, and our goal has been achieved by the springtime to have Soup for Troops basically, up and running and starting our first events.
Now, is there a connection to the troops, and how did this concept Soup for Troops come about?
So I was introduced to a business model where when we want to expand Original Soup Man, we want to do a lot of food trucks in different franchises. And being around the business and being on Wall Street for many years, there was a lot of companies in the financial world that would, offer jobs to troops coming home, but they were much better suited for missions like, in the world of food trucks or service in the food service industry. So basically, it came about as a mission for Gallant Brands to own a host of brands, particularly starting with the Original Soup Man, and the ethos of the American military, right? Leave no man behind.
Yeah, exactly.
It dates back to the French and Indian War. So we're looking at this as businessmen and as citizens, so that just as our troops do with each other in the field, when they come home, we should never forget to thank our veterans, to remember their sacrifices and what they've done protecting our freedom. So really, John, Soup for Troops is just a warm and comforting thank you. And just our goal is to remind these veterans that their sacrifices have and still are always appreciated and will never be forgotten.
That's really cool. Well, I think it's a really neat idea. When I was reading about this online, I said, I got to talk to these guys. First of all, I remember the episode of Seinfeld. I always thought, I'd love to try that soup. And now I'm encouraged to know that I could try that soup, which is really cool. But I also love the fact that you're doing Soup for Troops. I think this is near and dear to me, but I think it's near and dear to many people. So thank you for doing what you're doing.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a pleasure. It's another reason to get up, to get excited, getting out of bed and coming to work every day. That there's our new mission is no longer no soup for you. It's rather soup for all. And we know, Soup for Troops is a nonprofit 501c3 company. You can go to www.soupfortroops.org. But while it was sponsored by our company, we know our new company's mission is soup for all, John. And basically, we know that the more successful we are as a company in our Soup for All mission, it will be directly proportional to our ability to help Soup for Troops in that mission.
That is awesome.
Yes. So you can buy Soup Man online. We did a special over the Memorial Day weekend and all month long where anybody who bought a case of soup online, we donated a case to the troops, and we're going to continue with programs like this going forward.
That's really cool. As we sneak up on Independence Day, I know this is a time of year when there's a lot of people thinking, what can I do to make a difference? What can I do to help? Well, right here is an opportunity to make a difference and an opportunity to help the people who are serving to keep us safe. And the website, soupfortroops.org, we're going to throw a link to that in our show notes to make it really easy to find. And again, Joe, thank you for taking the time to visit, but also thank you for doing what you're doing.
You're welcome, and I want to thank you again for having me.
Again, the Original Soup Man, you may remember them as well from Seinfeld back in the 90s, and it sounded so darn good. Everybody loved it so much, and I always wanted to try it. Now I can, and you can too. And you can also help, if you'd like to help, with their wonderful mission, Soup for Troops. The website, once again, soupfortroops.org. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner, you should consider using radio. Radio is a powerful tool. Over 90% of us listen to the radio each week. Imagine if this ad was talking about your business, helping you hit your goals. We can help. We can also create a fun jingle too, to get people singing your song. When you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable, and that makes radio work even better. Learn more at RadioReallyWorks.com. Radio jingles to help you get better results with the money you're already spending. RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
1 out of 5 people in the world, so 1.1 billion people, live on less than $1 per day. That is amazing.
That is crazy.
I wonder how much it costs for us to live. It's more than $1 per day, I'm sure of that.
Oh, yeah.
But I've never calculated it. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Quebec City, Canada, has about as much street crime as Disney World. So think about that. Not a lot of street crime in Disney World. It's equivalent. Quebec City, Canada, equivalent. So there you go. A couple of fun facts for you right there on the John and Heidi Show. Thanks for listening on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Now, the grandiloquent word of the day. For today, it is fantasticate. What do you think fantasticate means?
To make seem better than it really is.
Yeah, it is. To make something seem fanciful or fantastic. To fantasticate something. Every once in a while, I like to fantasticate this program. I make people think that this is a real highbrow educational.
Really? You
Yes.
think our listeners think this is highbrow?
Especially during the grandiloquent word of the day, because quite often I remind them that we're teaching you things. This is, we don't charge you for this education or nothing.
I'm pretty sure
Nobody's falling for it.
Nobody has made that mistake.
Yeah, it's a real highbrow program. No, it's not. But we do have a lot of fun, and I do think fantasticate is a word I would use. I think I'm going to try to squeeze that in somewhere. I will.
It should be easy
I'm going to try to
enough.
fantasticate my vocabulary by using that word.
There you go.
I just used it. Hey, there we go. Fantasticate. Today's grandiloquent word.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
John and Heidi.
Now, some weird news on a Wednesday. This was actually sent to me by like 2 or 3 different people, and I think this is just really cool that people think of us when they see stories like this. And I honestly love this story. A tweet by a sergeant with the Indiana State Patrol has gone viral when he pulled over a car that was going too slow in the left lane. So one of the people that sent it to me said, if I remember correctly, you really dislike this. This is one of my pet peeves. We've talked about this before, so thank you for listening so attentively that you knew that bothered me. Sergeant Stephen Wheels was on Saturday. He pulled over a driver for going too slow, and he tweeted, he snapped a photo of the car, then he tweeted, I stopped this vehicle today for a left lane violation on I-65. The driver had approximately 20 cars slowed behind her because she would not move back to the right lane. Again, if there are vehicles behind you, you must move to the right lane to allow them to pass, end quote. So that was his tweet.
Right.
Twitter users responded by saying, inviting him to move where they live. Can you transfer to Florida? Another one responded, we could sure use you in Tennessee. So by and large, people loved the fact that he did this.
Absolutely.
The original tweet has over 46,000 likes and has been retweeted over 15,000 times. So I do absolutely appreciate that other people feel the same way that I feel. That drives me nuts.
I know it does.
And
you get irate.
I'm just going, move over. What are we doing? What are you over here? You from England? Why are you driving on the left side of the lane? I mean, get over to the right. And if you're a left lane driver, quit doing that. I was actually in a church group with a gentleman. We were talking about this, and he said, I do that all the time to slow people down. And like the rest of the church group went nuts on him. And I didn't go nuts on him. I just said, I just think it's rude. He's like, well, I'm just slowing people down. I'm like, why is that your job?
Why do you need to slow people down?
I said, what if there's somebody in the car behind you on their way to a hospital?
Right.
Now, wouldn't you feel bad if they didn't make it because you were, quote unquote, slowing them down?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not your job. Get out of the way. Let the police do their job. If people are really going too fast, and usually it's not that they're going too fast, this vehicle was going too slow.
Right.
So, anyway, I'm going to climb back off my soapbox
That'd be
now.
great.
Did my heart rate go up during this break?
Probably, yeah.
It's been some weird news on this Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
Now, your moment of duh. Rachel Elizabeth Tyler, age 34, was arrested for skimming customers' credit card info on her first day on the job at a restaurant in Oklahoma.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Twin Peaks Restaurant notified police when they saw Tyler installing a skimmer on the credit card machine and then repeatedly checking it to copy credit card info. Police believe she stole data from 5 or 6 cards before they caught her. She was arrested and her bond was set at $2,000. If you know how to do that kind of thing, if you've got the smarts to put this little contraption together, know how to do all that, get a job and make a good living. I mean,
Exactly.
devote your time to something that's not illegal, and you would probably be successful.
Mm-hmm.
I've looked at so many of these things where people have these, elaborate schemes to make a buck here and there, and you're going, wow, if you'd have put in 1/10 amount of time
Exactly.
to do something worthwhile,
something
for
productive for society.
for mankind, you'd probably, first of all, make a much better living, and second of all, you wouldn't go to jail, and third of all, you'd probably become famous.
Right.
I mean, just put that time and effort into something good, not bad. Otherwise, you might land right here on our moment of duh.
John and Heidi.
This time of year, there are many parties, weddings, cookouts, and other events that often include alcohol. If you're drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. The Addiction Hope and Helpline wants to help. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, there's a toll-free number you can call, 1-800-438-0380. That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline, 1-800-438-0380, 1-800-438-0380.
John and Heidi.
Time now for fake news or Florida. Ready for this one, Heidi?
Ready.
All right. A Florida man tried to prank his wife with a snake, but the snake bit her, and he went to jail. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
Wrong. That is fake news.
Oh.
But I'm really glad that you fell for that. That was one of mine.
Really?
Yeah, I came up with that. You ready for another one?
Sure.
All right. How about... Man, I should have gone through and got these ready. How about this one? Florida men were arrested for making a bomb to get tenants to move out of a rental property. Fake news or Florida?
Fake news.
No, that's a true story.
Ah.
Nathan Martin and Bruce
Got 'em both
Steffingham,
wrong today.
aged 38 and 56, were arrested after they made a bomb to get some tenants to move out of a rental property. That's a bad idea. They refused to leave the garage that he rented to them, so they suggested making a series of homemade acid bombs that would set off noise and scare them away. Police were called to when a neighbor heard a series of explosions that resulted in damage to 2 different homes.
Wow.
They were caught hiding in the backyard of the neighbor's house. They gave up quickly. They both got charged with projecting explosives and being held on a $15,000 bond. So, bad idea. Bad idea. This has been Fake News or Florida.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with good news, and this good news was sent to us not through email, but it was actually mailed to us. Got a phone call and talked to a wonderful young lady who sent this to me, Penelope. Thank you so much for sending this to me. And she found this. It's actually in a newspaper, and she sent the paper. It says, the news about heinous acts of animal abuse in Suffolk County is heartbreaking. In contrast to this type of news, I found that there are good people in our country whose actions usually go unnoticed. I would like to share the story of two such individuals. My wonderful friend passed away 2.5 years ago at the age of 92. Having no family, she doted on her 3 cats, Jojo, Cassie, and Tippy. While she was hospitalized, her neighbor Gail tended to the cats every morning. She fed them, and she cleaned the litter, and she gave them a lot of love. At 4 p.m. every day, another friend, Ralph, arrived to feed them their second meal. He spent about 4 hours with the cats each evening, talking to them, petting them, and loving them. After 6 weeks, the friend passed away, and for the following 2.5 years, the estate was being settled. Gail and Ralph continued for 2.5 years to tend to these cats. The 3 stayed in the home that they knew, and they followed the same routine that they were accustomed to. And they did this for the cats, but also to honor their late friend. In September, the house was sold, knowing the cats were not adoptable because of their ages, and knowing that the friends would have been deeply saddened by placing them in a shelter. Gail took them in. And when they joined her cats and a dog, Ralph continues to visit the cats on a regular basis. After reading the story, I hope you'll be encouraged to volunteer at a shelter or a rescue, or even maybe help at the home of a neighbor who might be in need. I think that's just so cool. So, Penelope, thank you for sending that. That was really neat. And she had sent that in to a newspaper, and she reached out and said, hey, I'd like to send this to you so you guys can read about it as well. Thank you for doing that. I think that's really, really cool. So, again, it's amazing to me how many wonderful things happen in the world and how many times the media skips over that to talk about the bad things. Mm-hmm. So that's why I know during our show we have some stories about people doing silly things too, but I love to end the program on a positive note and talk about some of the good things happening. And if you come across something good, you can share that as well. If you want to submit that, usually it happens through our Facebook page or our website, but you can send it through the mail as well. But if you want to submit it to us through our website, it's johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.